Was that all?
Woohoo! 10-year anniversary. Sure is a thing. Now, Overwatch has always been really bad with anniversaries, but I kind of expected a little more than this. At least in the past, they made new skins for the anniversaries, and those are some of the best skins in my opinion. To follow it up with these really ugly recolors is a choice. And of course they top it off with something core to recent to modern Overwatch, reusing assets and re-adding something they already gave us before with Overwatch Classic. I know 90% of the staff is new to this, but I'll tell you, in the past 9 years, we already dealt with this problem, and we've complained about it long enough. I think we need to learn a little bit from our mistakes here, and not continue this faux unlocking of content that you could just keep in there. I say that like it's not too late. This isn't the 10-year anniversary. Surprisingly, that's all I have to say about this 10-year anniversary. A whole decade. And this is the celebration. I've seen better celebrations at mini golf courses, because at least they got free pizza. Okay, so I did make a video before Season 1 dropped. This feels like a skinwalker.
Get it together.
No! You're so wrong. Something's wrong with her. I don't want to be her.
Oh, I'm burning up.
I think I've had enough of Anran. Dude, there's something really wrong with this. I want to get out of here. And then after Season 1 dropped, I remade it. It's just a little disappointing to keep getting these over and over. I mean, I know why. Because there's a lot of money to be made here. And then life happened. Neither of those videos were finished in time. So, oopsies. And I want to be done with Overwatch, frankly. We got some information that clarifies the decisions they're making in regards to the monetization. Basically, the higher-ups in Blizzard are demanding a certain amount of profit from Overwatch in order to keep it running.
If it doesn't do dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
And they're not allowed to negotiate that, and that sucks. There's nothing they can do about that. So even if these devs cared about the game, or even wanted to make the PvE, they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to shift focuses on that. They're not allowed to keep things in the oven long enough. And that's why we've been getting shoveled a bunch of garbage in our faces. On one hand, now I kind of have a lot of sympathy for the people behind this game and all the work they've been trying to do. On the other, I don't really see this being resolved, and I don't really care anymore. The only way forward is to heavily monetize it. But what else did Season 1 bring, besides the horrible doom?
What the hell with it? Restart.
5 new characters. That was pretty cool. When it released and everyone was still figuring it all out, I'm starting to get sick right now. I hope that's not audible. There was a day of Junkertown being horribly red. I thought that was pretty cool. But honestly, now is a better time than ever to talk about Season 1. Because when it dropped, we were kind of blinded by the excitement of, there's a lot of new stuff happening here. I can't wait to check out the new stuff. I made a prediction. However, we should be very cautious about this, because it's a lot. With quantity comes a decrease in quality. If they weren't working on this the whole time, this could be a disaster waiting to happen. There could be nothing behind what we're seeing here, which unfortunately is something they're guilty of very frequently. And yeah, it is quantity over quality. None of the new characters, Season 2 included, have any cosmetics. There is nothing. These are bare bones. It's just the kits. And to think even Overwatch 2 was releasing characters with 2 legendaries at some point. It's something we pointed out as far back as Malga, that we were getting less and less while not really changing anything else. Very incrementally in attempts for us to not notice. But it's more noticeable than ever. This is not something I'm on board with. I said last time that I didn't really want to make another Overwatch video, but they released like one of their biggest updates yet, so I kind of feel like I have to make this. I will stick to my guns on this one though. This is the last one. So let's talk about what we have here.
There's nothing.
Let me just say, all of my criticisms held. How are we supposed to know this character is one of the most important? She dresses just like how she was introduced, which is a gladiator, for her little mech fights. Talon doesn't have huge robots to fight, as far as I'm aware. So what is she training for? And of course she gets a Talon skin, head of Talon now. This is an improvement, but I feel like we should be going one way or the other. Either have her in big bulky armor or have her look like an executive. Having this big thing on her head is really ugly. It's not threatening. In fact, it looks like some kind of exoskeleton. Like very pointless spikes and blades all over. The sword is so much different, to the point where it can't even possibly be the same sword, which was half of her character design. It's just like Doomfist changing his gauntlet, which I've never been a fan of. That gauntlet is supposed to be the one and only, but it changes its entire appearance every instance we get. And with this new event, we cemented the invasion in the story, and we're retconning it by saying Ramatra retreated. No, you can't do that. This was a global invasion. You're on literally everyone's radar. You can't just retreat from that. There is no way he's gonna get another chance to do what he just did. Realistically, it's over. And that's probably what he was banking on in the original story. There's no going back from this. I might die, but at least I won't live in a world where my kind is treated unfairly still. That's probably how he would have died in the story after being defeated. But now he's just in some sort of limbo because we're pushing Vendetta. Goodbye, Ramatra. You were a good character while you lasted. And even worse, they expect us to accept that in this outfit, she single-handedly took down Talon. She took on Doomfist one-on-one. Mind you, this is the guy who fought Tracer, Genji, and Winston at the same time and almost won. 3 of Overwatch's best. You're telling me this girl who hasn't shown up at all until now is better than all of them? There's 2 words for a character like that, and they are not 2 words you want to associate with a character. If we had to have someone overthrow Talon, and I said this in an earlier draft of this video,
Anger made you stronger.
when has Reaper gotten to do something recently? When's the last time you've seen Reaper and actually been intimidated? He kind of fails at every turn. Widow got her moment, Sombra got her moment, Doomfist got his moment, even if it was a very small moment. Reaper just kind of takes it. And he's supposed to be one of the biggest threats. Give Reaper something to do, please. We didn't need Vendetta for this. It's so frustrating to not finish what you already have and just keep adding on to it. This is really flashy. I don't have a problem with flashy, but it's just that no one else really does that, so it sticks out. Anran, she released with the Freya face, it got fixed. Surprisingly, I don't really have much to say about this, because her face is the least of my concerns. I'll keep it brief. Her whole fan gimmick, her idols. No way! Look at that! That's a real idol! Oh my god! And it wasn't even a bad one either. I know that's kind of like a pathetic thing to be excited about, but look at that! Dude, it's an interesting idea. She is unique, in a way that is visually appealing, I suppose. The only thing I'll give her visual design is the flowing sleeves. I think they're pretty. I think they look good from all angles. I think they put a lot into her silhouette. Unfortunately, that is all I have to say that is good. Her hair is way too big and floofy, especially compared to the trailer. I don't know why her hair suddenly got longer and just became Vendetta's hair again. I also find it interesting that both Wooyoung and Anran are taking the same type of training and are on par with each other, but she has absolutely no muscles. What's up with that? She has 2 fans, even though she only uses 1. It helps with symmetry, but why is it there? I hate designs that don't have any practical use. Also, something I've seen pointed out, these fans don't physically make sense. They don't fold in a way that actually folds, as we'll see in a second here. Those two end pieces don't fit in the slightest. Where's the smaller one going when she closes it? Her clothing is just as bad as Vendetta, combined with the problem that it's just Wu Yang 2.0. She's just kind of this hodgepodge, even though it's clearly shown that she's not the same as Wu Yang, especially in personality. And frankly, I refuse to believe this is the class uniform. Story-wise, the only saving grace Wu Yang had is that he is using his training for some kind of healthcare, for some sort of healing technology. Why are we teaching people how to wield fire? Can you tell me what the point of fire people is?
Did you ever see it before and after picture of the supplement where it just gets red?
This is pretty cool. I wish his actual character like matched this. This is ideally what he should have been. A much darker character, more influenced by Mr. Eyeball Man, but we'll get to that. This guy's design is pretty cool. I like him a lot visually. Personally, I do not care about his whole manifesting guns thing. I know they were trying to like sell that as a gimmick. I mean, whatever. The reason for not just like carrying the guns around, I don't know. This is very underrated. The fact that there are injectors all over his siphon blaster. That's a very good bit of weapon design right there. The eyeball is definitely the best part. I love the idea of this thing taking over his body and turning him into some kind of weapon. One thing that bugs me, you can't tell me he's older than all of these people. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. Which is a big thing I have a little bit of beef with. They're trying to design characters that look young or are young in a game where all of the older people are the most interesting. It's increasingly frustrating. The gun does not have whatever is supposed to be displayed here. And even worse, it was just a missing texture upon release. It's insane. Oh, okay. Well, I just went through a whole thing saying he has no idol. It just took him like 5 years to do it. Come on, buddy. You can do it. It's just a shuffle. We got another shuffler. I feel like I don't really need to go into detail on why that's a bad thing. Shuffles have no personality. You're a nothing. You are nothing burger. You are not awesome sauce. With that, let's talk about the character. Oh my god, the character sucks. Wow. This is the most botched character of all time. We had this huge build-up, huge build-up towards Sombra discovering what this organization behind everything is. And then this guy releases with a joke character. He's just batched in with the cat. Oh, here's your answer. Here's the guy. This is what you're looking for. And Sombra didn't find him. No, Freya did. I call BS that Sombra didn't know about Emre in the first place. She keeps tabs on everyone. And I also don't believe for another second that Maximilian wouldn't then go send Sombra on the recon mission. Instead of this, frankly, otherwise useless character. You basically made Freya just for this. And there's a reason no one really cares about Freya. And it robbed Sombra of having any interesting character development, any interesting plot. It's been reduced to a guy who's making goo-goo eyes at a woman 10 years younger than him, supposedly being tortured by this mind virus, but also having nothing to say about it and kind of acting like a normal guy. Not even a soldier, by the way, just a regular guy.
You're insulting me in those shoes.
And what does Sombra do in this pivotal moment? She leaves. Bye-bye. What? I'm sorry. Are we giving her a conscience now? Miss Gray Area? Who kills, lies, steals, cheats, does anything to get what she wants? The opportunist?
If you hold the information, you hold all the cards.
Suddenly cares about her little town friends.
Conditions have worsened in your absence, my friend.
More than the whole mystery that she's motivated by. I'm glad to see this is still happening. This is awesome. This happened 3 times last time I tried recording. Final verdict, you could have been the coolest character ever, but you had to be associated with Freya.
The true enemy of humanity.
It definitely fits. Except I don't know where that drink is going. We got like a zoomed out version where the drink just kind of despawns. so they clearly didn't really plan that out. Domina. I mean, I know what the incentive for this one was. My initial complaint is that she looked very young, but now that we have her and I know her character, she is supposed to be like a spoiled brat. But everything about her entire design is so much more mature than her face, and it's really off-putting to me still. This is the opposite of what I usually have a problem with. Like, her face isn't the problem, but everything else is. The noodle arms on the robot is insane for a tank. I see no valuable reason for the robot arms to be slender. Honestly, her design would even look better if those arms were gone. Is that the idol? Whenever she does something that isn't with her gun, she like puts it all the way off screen. It's creating a whole lot of movement for things that don't need movement. As for her character, I don't have a problem with it. It could be really interesting, in fact. But, and this is a big one, her design and character kind of screams, I want people to fight for me and do my dirty work. So, why do we have her here? Specifically in the front lines, too. Why would she want to protect her expendable little peons? With her life? You know how valuable that is to her? We don't need everyone to be playable for them to be interesting in the story. Because we kind of had someone like that for years now, and he's pretty well liked. Maximilian, he's been this overbearing presence in lots of people's stories, seemingly untouchable even at gunpoint. Is he ever going to be playable? Hopefully not. I don't care about playing as him. He's perfectly fine just the way he is, as an influence in the story, and I don't see any feasible reason for her to choose this fight. That's basically all I gotta say. Design-wise, arms could go. Character-wise, she could go. Also, stop calling her a mommy. She's a juvenile nepo baby. That's her entire shtick. She can't find her own place in the world. Do you think she can put others in theirs?
Incoming.
All things considered, it's a pretty good intro. His hand movements, his stance, the way he snaps his shoulders down. Felt very satisfying and fluid. That's probably the last good thing you're gonna hear from me about this guy. Mizuki. Oh god, Mizuki. Oh, buddy. I already didn't like him in the spotlight. He kind of looks like evil Kiriko. Kiriko is already evil in my eyes. This is, not interesting. This feels like an Overwatch 2 kind of deal. And then he released, and oh my god, it's so much worse than I expected. Because there is one thing that I never considered watching that spotlight, because I was so focused on his gameplay and how he looks. We didn't know how he sounded. And
if I told you, I'd have to kill you. You're fine the way you are, okay? Oh, but I'm such a stand-up guy. You trust me, right?
I almost don't want to say it, but I kind of feel like it's true. They finally made a character somehow worse than Kiriko. He is genuinely the hardest voice to listen to.
You're starting to annoy me.
And I must say it doesn't help that his design is kind of copying all the bad parts of Kiriko, because nothing about this screams Overwatch, except maybe the prosthetic arm. Surprisingly disorganized as a concept. Awesome. I totally wasn't doing something. No, take your time, please. The only thing I'll give this is that he has a pretty good color scheme. I'm glad we finally have something that isn't covered in purple, yellow, or blue. That's the only good thing I can say about this, unfortunately. So why does he get a little musical tone, and Sigma doesn't? Do you know how menacing it was for him to be reacting to that melody? The melody only he can hear, but this guy just has like instruments playing around him. Why? What is happening? Oh, I love the unfinished UI. His idol is like instant. They made it faster because they want to make him look faster, but otherwise there's no personality again. And I don't know if it's just me, but I don't like this weapon. It's not exactly clear how it's functioning, and also how he doesn't use it as a melee when it kind of looks like it should be. Not only did we copy all of Kiriko's design failures, we copied something even worse This guy is full on magic. We're not pretending anymore. I don't care if it's supernatural. It's magic. It's something that was never supposed to be part of this story or world, and it's executed so poorly. I can't believe whoever approved this concept, let alone fully developed it. What, if you're Japanese, you get some kind of spirit? Is that how we're doing this? As far as I know, this guy didn't train with the Shimadas. Because he's kind of young. Which Kiriko shouldn't have also. Yet he still has this spirit superpower BS going on. That was never a thing. Only Shimadas could control the dragons because they had the tech. It's the bots in his tattoo. It's integrated into the katana. They are physical beings, not spirits. And importantly, they aren't alive. They are projections. Fox spirit doesn't make sense. Curse spirit doesn't make sense. I don't care about this guy's story because it's a sob story. And he's acting like he's better than all of these people that have experienced so much worse tragedy. Do you know who you're fighting with? The guy who lost literally everything. And the guy who lost literally everything. Can't forget the guy who lost literally everything. I'm trying to make a video! I could not care less about you or your curse. Quote unquote. You are not an interesting character. You provide nothing to the story, to the chemistry of the characters. You are insufferable. You have no good dilemmas, no interesting struggles. You are not worthless. You are less than worthless. You are a stain that we cannot get rid of now. And I bet this guy's gonna get a collab skin very soon. Him being here also means that we didn't need Wu Yang, so we added the Universe Ruiner for no reason. Thanks. He has a mask. It's not very interesting in itself, but what is interesting is...
Come on. What are you fighting for?
Moving on. I don't like talkers.
This is the first character without a visible mouth that speaks perfectly fine.
Oh, that wasn't very nice.
It makes him fit in even less, because we kind of had a care for this detail, even slightly. And yet we can't even put enough effort into these OCs. You're an outlier in every aspect. And yet I can say all sins can be forgiven because Jetpack Cat is here. I mean, look at her. It's a meow meow. I actually don't like this, for one reason. That's not how laser pointers work. It's not just a fixed point of light in the air. And laser pointers are bad for cats. My only notes? Unfortunately, another point for goggles that aren't used like goggles. I don't like the human eyes on the cat. Cat eyes can still look cute. Or else, how could cats have been dominating not even history, but prehistory as well? We don't need to put aspects of ourselves onto cats. No idol. Uh-oh. This is the worst character to try with lag. It kind of feels too rehashy of Diva. It's all the mech pilots who have the double weapons on the sides and then two-handed controls at the bottom. You can do different mech designs. And I'm hoping they do that with the new mecha, if that is a mecha in the silhouette. I do like the buttons, how they're styled like the cat response buttons. We've gotten tidbits of why she's smart enough to pilot the mech, but again, as I said with Juno, everything we do to one-up Winston in any aspect is kind of doing him a disservice. Not just Winston, the whole genetic experiment program. Because apparently it was so easy that other people could also do it from Mars, not even the moon, from Mars. If that's where the cat came from. We don't know yet. But if that's where the cat came from, we're just making Winston look so pathetic. The cat would be so uncomfortable hanging like that on the arms. Why is there no support on the bottom? The pack even goes all the way down here. You could just put a little thing under. Otherwise, no notes. Cat is almost perfect. I love the cat. I love playing as the cat. I love the glasses. The cat is pretty much perfect.
Hi, guys. I'm evil.
Widowmaker.
Just a note, I made a goof. I have a skin on, so just pretend this is normal, please, so I don't have to re-record it. I did say that them like flying in looks kind of cool, but they're doing it again after they've already done it for 2 Overwatch 2 characters with almost no deviation. Is kind of overdoing it. Sierra, listen. It gets to a point where we have this cookie cutter idea of what we should be putting in, which is young, skinny, lots of patches of bare skin, where the silhouettes start kind of blending into each other, and we no longer have interesting character designs. I said it in the first draft, they were very prideful about their silhouettes. No, the silhouettes all look the same, to the point where 2 of them looks like Widowmaker. This is one of them, and I'm sorry to say, this did not exceed expectations. In fact, it went lower because we have another midriff. As a consequence of these things, there's not much to say about this. Except that it looks like a Fortnite skin, which is never something you want to hear, ever. I don't think pink is a good color for this character as well, because she's supposed to be like this outdoorsy rock climbing scouter type. If anything, she'd want to be camouflaged more, right? Because she's not wearing a lot of armor. Something more earthy would have worked for this, in my opinion. Which also brings up an old character design trait from the Overwatch 1 days. They all used to be like somewhat dirty, unclean, covered in dust, covered in burns, the gunpowder from the guns. Because in the end, this is a game about a bunch of people scuffling outside in random places. Lots of places having dirt as the ground they walk on. So of course they're gonna get dirty. But here we see this design that has bright pinks and reds that are seemingly untouched. From what you want us to believe is a character that rock climbs. How come she looks like she just walked through a car wash? Also, why is her hair glowing pink? Since when is glowing hair a thing? Lucio? Maybe? I can excuse his little pool noodles, because he's supposed to be a performer. What do you expect to do with a drone? Like, genuinely, what do you think this drone does? Okay. What you might think it does is scout for targets, because of the glowing eyeball and the wings. Maybe it moves around like Crypto's drone, wouldn't you think? But what it actually does, it's just a grapple point. Twice. It's just a double grapple point, then it explodes. That's the most disappointing function this bird drone could have had. So the only interesting thing about her is disappointing. That's a really bad sign. That's like Orphish to the surface level of bad sign for the future of this game. And her idol is a shuffle. Need I say more? The last thing I'll say about her first-person view, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. What is that? Why is there a wiggle? What kind of punch has a wiggle at the end? This is insane. The only thing I can guess about this, that a lot of animators have left or were fired. Because the animations for every character in this switch back to Overwatch have been, let's just say, not up to standard. I know they're trying, but you're selling a product, and you're not selling me on the product. As a longtime fan of 10 years, I'm not sure what her story is. She's supposed to be some kind of operator for Helix. Sure, Helix didn't really get much of an opportunity to do anything in this world, to the point where Farah doesn't even really talk about it at all. Using this opportunity of adding a bunch of characters in to flesh out other aspects, like Vishkar and Helix, I don't mind that. That's alright. Supporting characters are a thing. I would have much preferred you actually, like, I don't know, do something with Farah and not make her wait in the sidelines like every other Overwatch 1 character. But if this is how it has to go, then it's fine.
Wake the up, samurai.
Okay, so her whole thing is that she is supposed to be creepy. I like the look she gives. I don't understand what this motion is supposed to be, though. There's like no objective here. It's just swing your arms out. I'll say it again, these don't look bad. They're just not supposed to be here. This is not an Overwatch design. The way she doesn't use her mouth to actually speak, you can't really tell if the face that's being displayed... My tater tots are done. You can't really tell if the face being displayed is actually her emotions, and that's a little terrifying for a species built to identify emotions based on faces. She is very aesthetically pleasing. I will even go as far as to say Kiriko and Mizuki are also aesthetically pleasing. But my gripe with them and this new character is this is just not Overwatch. We're losing our identity further and further. She looks like she walked straight out of Cyberpunk. And that's not to say it's ugly. It's just not supposed to be here. A real problem with her character design, though, is, again, the silhouette. She's the same shape as college students, but we're supposed to believe she's either admin or leader of this criminal organization. It's not intimidating, it's not scary to see how small she is. It makes her look like a hooligan, or the G word. And also they shaved her horns for some reason. They're doing the Freya face again. Why did she look infinitely better in the trailer? It seems like that creepy smile was gonna be like her trademark, but she doesn't do it once here. She's too busy doing the default smile with no emotion in her eyes, which I guess makes sense for her because she's supposed to be creepy. Can't say the same for the other 5. Maybe I would like it if everyone else didn't do it before, but now it's exhausted. You ruined this face for me. And also, I don't know what it is. This hair is kind of ugly, like way uglier than it looked in the 2D animation. And she's got nothing to like cover that. She like almost looks bald. It could just be a side effect of her skin being the same color as her hair. Coats don't drape like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, that never ever looks good. I don't know why we're doing that. Well, I know why. Because the shape of the body is more important than something that actually looks good, I guess. Everything needs to be skin tight, even if the clothes that she's wearing would not do that in real life. For someone who's supposed to be very fast, big clunky boxes on her legs is something. Like, what happened? How did all this get lost in translation so bad? Why did the lips look like that? Was it not lipstick? Unless they reveal that she like wants to be human. This is very, very weird. Come on, man. Do something. This is even more inexcusable from a diegetic view of intentionally adding these human characteristics onto herself, and she's not using them. You just paid for a bunch of cosmetics that you're not gonna use. You're a robot. You don't lose your grip like humans, buddy. That's all you can give me? Oh my god. I saw this in the trailer as well. Why are we doing that? It was a bit extra for Emre to do it. It's even more extra for this person to do it. Because at least Emre is supposed to be, like, cybernetically enhanced by the... My point was that it's not... No, this was never a thing. It's so cartoonish. It like dilutes how scary she could have been by plastering her stupid logo everywhere. Hey guys, I'm the evil villain. You can tell by my logo and my evil gang's name written on everything. Like, just give her a mustache at this point so she can twirl it. One more thing, I don't expect people to care about this as much as I do, but I think it matters more than you think. The motorcycle has pretty much zero connection to her design. It's hers because she rides it, I guess, but there's nothing that draws me into that further. Second, it doesn't look like Overwatch. It's, as I've seen it codenamed before, Cyberslop. The new character designers are really hyper-focused on these high-tech looking designs that don't really have substance at all. They just kind of greeble it and call it a day. Not only is it not Overwatch, it actually commits a cardinal sin, breaks an unspoken rule that showed an amount of respect for the vision of Overwatch as a world. No vehicles ever are supposed to have wheels that touch the ground. They are supposed to float. That's part of the aesthetic. We have flying cars. It's not even that hard of a rule to follow, because with all this world building, it's like almost impossible to not see a car somewhere and see those floating wheels and be like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. It really is that easy. And they messed it up. Forget what I was saying about Sierra being a red flag, Anran being red flag, Wuyong being red flag. The motorcycle with non-Overwatch wheels connecting to the ground? I'm not suspecting they don't care anymore. I just know they don't care anymore. I was gonna be fine with this character until they showed this. All in all, I'm glad they didn't forget Omnix existed, even if they're humanizing it.
Whoa! Is that human face, dude?
As for the story, why do we care about Hashimoto? They're talent adjacent. Cool. You also weren't in the main story before. It kind of feels like we just inserted this to pad it out. You're mostly using it to develop a storyline that doesn't really belong and perverses an existing storyline that we already cared about. That's why it's not welcome, and Sierra with Helix is. Also, making her entire color scheme red and white and then having the effects be blue is... huh? I always feel like Overwatch's story was destined for a different style of game. Because when we make these live service things, we're kind of expected to keep everyone alive. We're expected to keep it rolling with no end in sight. And that's really what killed the spark for me. We're really focused on the new. New game, new title, new game modes, new UI, new character designs. It's all gotta be new, even if it breaks what wasn't broken. Even if we were on a perfect trajectory to something truly amazing and unforgettable, we must have something new, because that's what they think reels people in. Maybe it will reel in new people. It's alienating who you already had. It's destroying the dreams of every single person that was in that stadium. Almost every single person there was a soul that was really looking forward to a natural conclusion. To see these characters practice what they preach, which is hope for a better future.
Someone has to do something! We have to do something! We can make a difference again.
Cry about it.
And it was great while it lasted, but to me, I don't see this series going anywhere. Anywhere good, at least. Which is really sad to say, because this is such a cool concept of a world, of a story. Anytime you saw someone in Overwatch 1, you were like blown away at how much character is in these characters. This was something big, and it could have been even bigger. I really just think it was bound by the curse of being a Blizzard product. And we were all too blinded by the spectacle and the beauty of it all to see that in the end Blizzard makes the final decisions. It's just a shame. It's just all just a big shame. With that, I think that will be my final thoughts on Overwatch as a whole. I would love to talk about games I'm more interested in at this point. So, thank you. Thank you for putting up with me and my weird rambles. Thank you, Overwatch, for everything you could do. That's it. Like if you agree, like if you disagree. There is a button that says subscribe. I don't really know what that does. If you could, like, test that out for me. And hopefully I can actually start uploading, like, on some kind of schedule, instead of dying again. That'd be nice. See ya.